Happy Monday to you, church. It's good to be with you on this Monday. And it's a little cooler than it was a week ago today. We have not been in the kiddie pool today like last week, where we were in it probably 2 or 3 different times because it was so hot. And a lot has happened since the last Monday. And here's just something, I guess, that's kind of been on my heart. Obviously, the last 2 months we've all been experiencing how it feels like life changes almost by the day, right? And so we get information, we hear things, we turn on the news or read one article, and then tomorrow we read from the same source and it's information that's totally different, right? And this past week hasn't really felt any different, right? A lot has happened. And really what's been on my heart is I've been diving into the Word is obviously in the last 10 months of my life, because of this guy, my perspective on a lot of things have changed. And one of them was reading the book of Judges, which I've done a few times before, and getting across to Judges 2. And at this point in time, the Israelites have lived and seen some pretty amazing things that God has done for them. We all know the story of the Exodus, where God brings them out of Egypt, out of slavery, witnessing the different plagues that took place. And then not only all of that, when they leave Egypt, they see the Red Sea literally split in two, and they walk on dry land in order to be free. They see a pillar of fire at night and a cloud during the day that leads them all through the wilderness. They get everything that they need to survive because of the goodness of God. And all of these great things that they experienced that could have only come from God. In Judges 2, we find out that there was, well, actually, let me read it. It's right here in front of me. After a whole generation had been gathered to their ancestors, another generation grew up who knew neither the Lord nor what he had done for Israel. They forsook the Lord, the God of their ancestors, who had brought them out of Egypt. They followed and worshipped various gods of the peoples around them. They aroused the Lord's anger because they forsook him and served Baal and Astoreths. I'm not a pastor, I don't know how to pronounce that word. It's a tricky one. But the point being is that even though they saw the goodness of God happen in so amazing things that we could only hope to see, right? That there's the next generation after Joshua had died and led them to the promised land, the next generation totally lost track of the goodness of God. That generation just totally moved on from God. They forsook God. And so when I read that now, I can only help but think of this guy. And I can think of his generation. And my motivation every day is that in some way, shape, or form, and he's 10 months old now, he understands a lot. He's already climbing on things. He can barely stand up on his feet, but his first natural thing to do is climb things, apparently. And the motivation for me is for him and his generation not to be a Judges 2 generation. I do not want my son to grow up in a world where he doesn't know about the goodness of God. Because if you're a lot like me, in the days that we are living, that's really what pushes us through, is it not? When we reflect and we just know and we feel the faithfulness of God and believe in the faithfulness of God and know that his grace has redeemed our lives, and that's really what motivates us to go through each and every day. So what is that, what does this all mean? What am I trying to say? That's a great question. You can ask Lauren and even Nate. Sometimes I talk without even thinking about what it is I'm saying, and I get halfway through and I have no idea what it is I'm trying to say. But I think this is what I'm trying to bring to your attention here, is that Jesus makes it very simple for us, even though it is so difficult. When he is asked what the greatest commandment is by the Pharisees, the greatest commandment, he says, love the Lord your God with everything you have in your innermost being. It is because by grace that we are saved. And by believing in that grace that we are saved, our motivation to do anything should be to love God with everything that we have. And then the second, he tells us, and you all know this, is just like it. But it is hard. Love the people around you more than you love yourself. Put their needs before yours. It's hard. It is hard. But it is a good thing that we have this, isn't it? It's a good thing that we have this book. I love this book. This book is living and breathing. Every time that we open this book, we see something new. Every time we open this book, God communicates His word to us. And it is a book that throughout generations, people have died trying to transpose, died trying to translate, put their lives on the line just so you and I could have this book in our hands to open it and grow and to learn. Church, our motivation, my motivation is His generation doesn't lose sight on the goodness of God. Tomorrow, we don't know what that's going to bring, but tomorrow we're going to love our neighbors more than we love ourselves, and we're going to put our faith in God because we are commanded to love Him with everything that we got and to follow Him with everything that we got. We love you. We miss you. Hopefully that all made sense. He actually is in a fairly good mood. So thanks for your help, buddy, and we'll see you soon.